It's The Big Show. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Alright, I'll talk about The Big Show. The world's largest athlete has been wrestling for 21 years, which is f***ing bonkers. When you keep in mind just how many memories he's given the fans, they really are the biggest assholes in the world to chant, "Please retire." But hey, it looks like they've got their wish. He's walking away sometime after his match with Shaq at Mania 33. So let's look back at his career through purely a negative lens, because we're also the biggest assholes in the world. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 things WWE want you to forget about The Big Show. Number 10, he was in the Thong Song video. Of course I've heard the Thong Song. It's the national anthem of Jersey. Thong for thong, thong, thong. It's Sisqó's masterpiece, and though he may have produced more personal work in A-List and Dance for Me, it's the year 2000's most pernicious earworm, and it's remained his most popular, except perhaps being incomplete. Yeah, I know my f***ing Sisqó, back off. What people may have forgotten is that in the original music video for the Thong Song, there's a brief cameo from The Big Show, who stands there, surrounded by scantily clad babes, and looking furious about it for some reason. Considering that WWE is PG these days, and the video caused a small amount of controversy for being sexually exploitative, though I'm not sure what you'd expect from a song called The Thong Song, I don't know, perhaps it's all best left to history. Number 9, The Big Show was his slave name. I just think white people should be careful when using terms like slave name. I mean, I know, it's mental, right? Anyway, The Big Show has gone by many names: The Giant, Paul White, Big Nasty Paul White, Big Show Paul White, That Gigantic Man, Look over there, Look at the Big Man, and finally just Big Show. And he's been called that one ever since, apart from in 2007, when Big Show quit WWE. He was gone for just over a year, and in that time made one big appearance at an indie show called PMG Clash of Legends. The event drew a bit of controversy by having a match between Hulk Hogan and Jerry Lawler cancelled after WWE refused to allow any of their talent to work the indie show. Lawler was replaced by Big Show, who announced that the term Big Show was his slave name, that he didn't want to be owned anymore, and he was changing his name to Paul the Great White. A year later, he was back in WWE, called Big Show again, and seemingly very happy to once again be owned. Number 8, he got sued. Andrew Green was a producer for WWE who left the company in 2013 in somewhat bizarre circumstances after a run-in with the very, very tall boy, Mr. Bigster Show. It was Green's job to do post-match interviews on WWE.com for the Royal Rumble 2013 after Show's match with Alberto Del Rio. Big Show was not in the mood for chinwags. See, the thing is, he actually gave one of the better interviews that he's given, which just happened to involve him grabbing Green, pushing him against a production crate, swearing at him, and slapping him across the face. Then they had to redo the interview twice. Green left the company and sued them for the Big Show apparently going way off script with the promo, claiming physical injuries, emotional distress, and loss of income. Number 7, he was arrested for exposing himself. Well, it's the big dick. The Big Show has been arrested twice for doing naughty things in hotels. The first involved his Big Nasty. In 1998, while Show was still wrestling for WCW as The Giant, he was in Memphis for a taping and was arrested for allegedly exposing himself to a female motel employee, leading to this tasty mugshot of what Adam Pachiti's future will look like after WhatCulture inevitably folds. The charges were dropped owing to a lack of evidence, which is an incredibly insulting thing to say about the Big Show's manhood. Number 6, that Armageddon match. The Big Show's feud with the Boss Man is stuff of wrestling legend in much the same way that Mortal Kombat is the stuff of cinematic legend. It may not be high art, but you're not forgetting it anytime soon. They pulled out all the stops. The Big Show's father, kayfabe, died. In actuality, he had died a while before this angle, and the Boss Man mocks Show for being sad about it, interrupt the funeral of Bigger Show, chaining the coffin to his car, and then riding off with it. What he was going to do with Big Show's dad's body, I refuse to guess. Then he tear-gassed Big Show, got Big Show's mama to call her son a bastard, hit him in the head with a hammer. All this very silly nonsense was serving a WWF Championship match between the champion Show and the Big Boss Challenger at Armageddon 1999. That match bombed. I mean, Boss Man crashed a funeral. The angle should have been at least a little bit hot, but the match lasted a mere 3 minutes, throughout which the crowd was stone dead, even chanting boring after Prince Albert was put through the announce table. All that horror for what felt like zero payoff, and Show would drop the belt shortly after on Raw to Triple H. Number 5, breaking a man's jaw. Back to the hotels with the Big Show in the summer of 1998 when Show got into an altercation at a Marriott hotel in Uniondale, New York. He got into a tussle with a man called Robert Sawyer and clocked him across the face, which Sawyer would later claim broke his jaw. Shortly after he signed with WWE in 1999, Sawyer brought charges against the world's largest shove machine. Awful timing considering that Paul White's character had just debuted as Mr. McMahon's enforcer. After 3 days in court, during which Show testified that Sawyer had threatened and shoved him prior to Show throwing a KO punch across his jaw, the judge ruled that the world's largest athlete was not guilty. You can even find footage of Big Show landing the punch on Sawyer on YouTube. Number 4, that Survivor Series match. Remember Armageddon and the painfully quiet match? That bout was just 3 minutes though. The match that Big Show had with Randy Orton at Survivor Series 2013 was 11 minutes and felt like my goddamn life. Daniel Bryan had just been lowered out the main event scene, which the fans were not ready for, thank you, and the Big Show was engaged in a storyline whereby he was suing WWE after Steph slapped him and fired him. After all, lawsuit angles are always the most thrilling. Now, to be fair to Big Show and WWE, the fans had responded to him on TV in the build-up to Survivor Series, even getting a few yes chants going. However, on the night itself, when it came time for the main event of a Big Four pay-per-view, everything went wrong. The match started subdued, and then rest holds happened, a few spots were fudged, and the crowds degraded into a vague hum of quiet boos for the rest of the contest. There was an awkward punt spot that didn't connect, it was really bad, and then the whole feud was scrapped in favour of the title unification. The main event of Survivor Series, and probably the final championship pay-per-view main event of Big Show's career, WWE don't want you to remember him as a main eventer like this. Number 3, being covered in poo. Nope, let's remember the Big Show like this instead. The Big Show is a big lad, he's a big bad monster, and so in storytelling terms, what's more enjoyable than seeing the Big Show humiliated? Well, scabies. Big Show has been humiliated loads. He's cried in the ring, been out-sumoed, been tranquilized and shaved in the ring, had Vince McMahon's head shoved between his bare bottom cheeks, but what really takes the cake is being covered in the human poo by Eddie Guerrero. In 2003, they had a poo-scented feud. Big Show ate Eddie Guerrero's burrito, then walked out of a match because he was going to crap himself. Stay with me. Eddie then stole toilet paper from Big Show's bathroom, kicked a bathroom door on top of him. That's pretty embarrassing. Well, here's the brown cherry on the chocolate sundae. A week later, Eddie brought a sewage truck to the ring and sprayed the Big Show with the doody poopy, or as the Latinos apparently say, caca. Oh, it is good to be big. Number 2, his backstage fight with the great Khali. Locker room scraps, the backbones of these lists. Now, this may not have been the most savage match in terms of raw intensity. Both men tend to throw punches in slow motion after all, but it certainly featured the biggest boys. They are tall gentlemen, and one fateful day in 2009, the world's biggest and clumsiest scuffle broke out. As confirmed by Chris Masters on Reddit, the two giants, or The Great Show, as their tag team would inevitably be called, came to blows over a move that Show thought Khali had nicked from him, an overhand chop to the chest, and hang your head in shame, Khali came out on top. Apparently, as a 2-4, Big Show tripped over a bag or a chair. It depends, the story changes, but according to Chris Jericho's book, The Best in the World at What I Have No Idea, it was a chair. Big Show tripped, fell over, and Khali landed on top of him, meaning that Khali won. I mean, losing a real-life fight to Great Khali. Can life get worse? And number 1, he's turned heel and face 20 times. Exactly 20 goddamn times. People have worked it out online. Like, here's an actual list. That's mental. That averages at just under 1 turn for every year of his career. And remember, he had a year off. That moves just beyond whimsical into fickle, beyond fickle into irrational, and beyond irrational into downright schizophrenic. He's turned more than a windmill rolling down a f***ing mountain, and his somewhat transient morality has become a running joke amongst the fans. It's good for a few yucks, but ultimately, his flip-flop past has crippled the Big Show's credibility as a character for the audience to get behind, especially when the last few turns have just sort of happened without much acknowledgement on camera. After all, who is the Big Show? A lovable giant or a scary ogre? Who is he right now? Who are you, Paul White? Who are you? And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.